In the past few weeks, in 3 different cities, 3 young men filled with rage, bigotry, and hate, both for others and especially self-hate, in a matter of minutes destroyed the lives of 32 people who died and many more who were injured. There were many acts of sacrifice. But when Jesus speaks of children in the gospel today, especially, quote, "In just the same way, it is not the will of your heavenly Father that one of these little ones be lost," what came to my mind was the incredible self-sacrifice of Jordan and Andre Anchondos, the mother and father who died protecting their little one. Jesus' warning comes in the context of his being asked, who is the greatest? The answer is the little ones, those who are not childish, but are childlike. And there's a big difference. The former exhibits immaturity, a lack of perspective, and a lack of self. The latter is more mature, responsible, and loves God, neighbor, and self. It is that care and concern that allows a person to search out the lost sheep. God bless the 99, but even the loss of one lamb is a tragedy. Self-sacrifice shown by those 2 parents gives us pause to think of how we live out our own lives. How far are we willing to go to be responsible disciples, good witnesses to Jesus, and examples of strong faith? Speaking of those qualities, we are hearing the final words of Moses in our first readings. I think we can only appreciate the depth of feeling he has expressed by relating to our own moments of leaving or loss. It might be selling a home that you lived in most of your life, the empty nest after bringing up the children, all those happy and sad times. It may be losing a spouse, a child, a good friend, or a neighbor, and feeling that loss and loneliness, that feeling of being alone. It may be an illness that's debilitating or some other loss, but it touches you at the very depth of your being, and it hurts. We can imagine the hurt of Moses after all he did, yet like a little child, he was faithful to the Lord, obedient to his will, and handed over the reins of leadership to Joshua. Being childlike, responsible, how we cope with loss, change, and facing the future are a lot of themes to try to absorb today. But one can be sure that trying our best to be like Christ, trusting in his love for us and our love for him, will give us the strength and the courage, the perseverance and hope that we need to move forward. Be brave and steadfast, have no fear or dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who marches with you. He will never fail you or forsake you. Someday in the future, when that protected child is no longer a child, he will suddenly acknowledge the sacrifice of his parents, and his life will never be the same again. It can't be. I wonder what effect it will have on how he cares for others. In just the same way, it is not the will of your heavenly Father that one of these little ones be lost.